Kia ora Star Wars fans, welcome to middle-aged Kiwi man collecting Star Wars figures. In this video we're going to check out another new vintage collection figure. Is VC373 Ben Obi-Wan Kenobi, and as you can see there, it comes on the very original Kenner cardback image, so let's check it out. Alright, and there is the cardback image, and I gotta say it does look pretty cool. Got a nice unobstructed Hildebrandt logo there, the classic Star Wars racetrack. I'm not a huge fan. I know that they kind of had to do this image because that was the one on the original 12 for Obi-Wan Kenobi, but he's sort of leaning backwards. His lightsaber's obviously yellow, so I think that the alternate cardback image they had in the Kenner days was pretty cool, but maybe we'll get a running change. And you can barely see him in the bubble there because of his big Jedi cloak taking up all the room, but you can see there he's got his lit lightsaber, his unlit lightsaber on the back there. VC373. Mine's got a bit of a bend in it, but that's all good. Nice image on the back. That's all I have to say about that. Alright, a real close-up look at the lightsabers. So, yeah, I've got to say I'm really impressed with this. I know some people think these lightsabers are too small, but I actually think they're accurate scale-wise. And I really love all the paint deco that's going on there with the gold and the silver. That just really looks nice. And I love the straight blades. Like some of the ones in the past had a little flare at the bottom. And then, of course, we get the unlit lightsaber as well with a little peg to go on his belt. I think this will be ideal for chopping off a certain Aqualicious limb. Alright, and there is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Nobody knew who he was. He went by this awesome coded nickname, Old Ben Kenobi, so nobody had any idea he was actually Obi-Wan Kenobi, so that was pretty clever. That head sculpt is awesome. I think that's the best likeness they've ever had of Alec Guinness. He looks amazing. This cloak is very billowy, but on the back it is stitched down, so you can't have him hood up, only hood down. There's a lot of material there. It's very baggy. Let's get his cloak off. Okay, and with his cloak off we can get a good idea of his articulation. So oh yeah, he's got some good side to side and a little up and down. You've taken your first steps into a larger world. Shoulder articulation as you'd expect. Elbows. Wow, that's awesome. Look at that. That is very impressive elbow articulation. All Jedi should come with that sort of elbow articulation. Looks like he's got a bit of a waist joint, but not really. Separately sculpted belt. There's a nice little pouch there. And underneath the robes, we're going to see barbell hips, John Moran thigh swivel. Again, excellent knee articulation, and boots look cool, and they're on rocker ankles, so these lower legs could easily be used for prequel Jedi, I guess. So yeah, that is an absolutely fantastic figure. Right, and I didn't mention the hinge wrists before, but they are absolutely critical, and so is the elbow bend, to get him holding the lightsaber like this right in front of his face. So the wrist hinges allow you to move the hands far enough away from the sculpted sleeve. And yeah, I mean, it takes a bit of fussing around with the big bulky robe, but yeah, looks absolutely amazing. Alright, time now to compare with what was previously considered the best Obi-Wan Kenobi figure in the scale. It's this guy. Pew, 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 pew. So cool, I got two of them. And yeah, they come with torches, which used to be lightsabers. They're both snapped off. I have absolutely no idea how I ended up with two of these. But yeah, I'm just kidding. This one was previously considered the best Obi-Wan Kenobi figure from the Legacy collection, and just have a look. The face sculpts do not compare. The new one is just absolutely magnificent, and better everything really, better articulation, better robes. Now, some people like this hand with the kind of force gesture. Thing is, that's his right hand when he's in the Landspeeder. I'm pretty sure he uses his opposite hand for the... You don't need to see his identification. Move along scene, so... But yeah. This one is fantastic. Of course, the Legacy Collection one did come with this awesome table, which still holds up today as a diorama piece with the little tea set and the little holographic layer. I think it's an awesome set. Right, so there is a little hole just by the belt buckle there in his belt, and I thought that's nowhere near deep enough for this gigantic peg, but it sits in there perfectly and it looks awesome. Well done, Hasbro. Alright, this is the 2011 Vintage Collection Landspeeder. I don't have the new one yet. And what I was using in there was an old Power of the Force 2 Ben Kenobi with some Jedi's stolen hood. So have a look and see if the new Obi-Wan fits in the older Landspeeder. I mean, you're going to have to mess around with his robes just like you did the other one. So there you go. He fits in the 2011 Landspeeder nicely, and looking forward to picking up the new Landspeeder hopefully soon. Alright, so Obi-Wan sits in his seat pretty well actually. Better than Luke does because of that little plastic skirt, but let's see what happens when you put the rest of the crew in there. Okay, well there you go. They kind of do. Some awkward little poses there, and there is Obi-Wan in the background. Alright, and here we are. I think this is what Chris from Banterskull was talking about when he said make the mains Hasbro. So here are all the main heroes from A New Hope in Vintage Collection form. They've all had an upgrade of some description, some all new. Chewie with some minor tweaks, but the rest, you know, it looks fantastic. And I've got to say, I'm really happy with this Obi-Wan Kenobi figure. The articulation is incredible. The likeness is the best they've ever done, particularly in this scale. I'm not super keen on that original Kenner Cardback as I mentioned earlier, but I see why they did that. Great figure overall. Anyway, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I'm middle-aged Kiwi man collecting Star Wars figures. Ka kite, and I'll see you on another video.